Vayne. Last we left off, you guys met up with the remaining Dragonborn that called Drillheim their home. The ones that had been tasked to basically see you guys in and who have taken it upon themselves to attempt to eradicate the dragons that loom over the city to perhaps to reclaim their city. You met with the leader of this force, a brass, brass, one of the two. A bronze dragonborn by the name of Juka. He informed you of everything that had been going on here over the past month or so, a bit longer, since the red and black dragon had been plaguing Drillheim, attacking their ships, attacking their home. They fought, staved them off for as long as they could, but it got to the point where they'd run out of manpower, resources to continue, and came up with a strategy to essentially hide until those from the Empire got here, of which you're the first, with the rest of the fleet not far behind. So, that's about where we had left off. Right now, it is the morning following when you had met with Chuka. You've all had a rest, you've all had some food, some drink, and you have in the ballpark of maybe 10 hours or so until the estimated arrival of the rest of the fleet. Perhaps less time than that until the rest of the fleet would come into view. So it's about that time frame that you're working with, as you are aware that these dragons are watching Drillheim and watching the coastline as well. So as you awake, this cavernous bay type area is busy. Uh, the Dragonborn here, the many dozen or so that have stayed behind here, are working with the intent of being ready to confront and combat these dragons alongside you. Their one remaining battleship is being outfitted with heavy, long-range ballista type weapons, the javelin type projectiles being loaded onto the ship as the morning goes on. The members of Drillheim here, the members of the Draconian army, are getting their weapons, their armor ready, as the four of you wake up and begin your own preparations. So, what would you like to do? The four of you and Svengrid have been given a place to rest, your own little campsite around each other. And as you're waking up, you're confronted by Juka himself, who uh, walks up. Good morning. Would care for some food, and we will continue to discuss and make preparations for when the rest of your allies arrive.
So,
It's just an uneasy feeling. So there's not much to say except figure it out along the way. Mm, I've been up for a little bit, but just going through my spells and figuring out how I can best help. Uh,
Hmm, certainly can understand the nerves, however, is, well, at least what we are here to do, and judging by the fact that you're all here as well, you have some vested interest in this too. Until the time comes, it is still another day, and we must tend to ourselves as such. So, if you would not be opposed to it, I would like to invite you over, mm, sit down with me and my family for at least a small breakfast. Can't go into this. We need to go into this with our full strength, which includes being well fed.
Considering our current diet and what we have been eating, that would sound uh, lovely.
He nods and invites you all to follow him, whoever wishes to may. Walks a little ways over to another area where a a small cast iron cauldron looking cooking implement is sitting over a fire, and a bubbling stew of sorts seems to be cooking. The smell is foreign, but uh, smells appetizing. Can't really the what it might be is something that few of you have smelled before. It is certainly a draconian cuisine of sorts, at least a take on it, probably with a bit less of the fixings than would normally be given the circumstance. However, Jukin introduces those of you who follow to his wife, a fellow bronze dragonborn by the name of Relea, and you notice the presence of an adolescent dragonborn, also bronze, uh, that is enjoying a breakfast as well. Looks a little bit distant, serious in the face. It looks lost in thought, and he, Juka introduces this young dragonborn as his son, Omek. He glances up as the only form of acknowledgement and goes back to his meal. You're all in the middle of eating when another uh, dragonborn, a copper dragonborn, comes up and sort of urgently, hushedly whispers something to Juka, who nods to him in understanding, places his food down, and follows him off in the direction of the cave's exit without a word to any of you.
Wait, something wrong?
Uh, he's maybe 15, 20 feet. Uh, well, he's starting to walk off, and you ask this as he walks by you, and just a report I need to follow up on personally. I'll be back shortly.
Can I help in any way?
Um, the entire time he's been walking away, he caught the first question, but by the time he answered you, he was already like 10, 15 feet away answering your first question. So the second one, he's uh, walking by other individuals, other little campsites, and quickly getting lost in the crowd. But you notice that he is heading off in the direction of the cave entrance, the entrance that you had come in the night before.
Hmm. Um. Well, I mean, I don't have anything planned. I don't think for the immediate moment. Maybe I'll follow him anyways.
Okay.
Say out loud and go.
Delan gets up and follows instead of Juka and this scout who had come back and made a report to him. Delan, you follow him, and you can see you're maybe about 50, 60 feet behind him as you get to where, out of the area where the sort of living area of this cave, and begin to head towards the the incline that leads to the exit that you had come down the previous night. You can see Juka walking ahead of you, and you keep pace. Are you trying to catch up, or are you just keeping pace?
Just keeping pace.
Okay.
I suppose I'm trying to be as inconspicuous. Maybe I don't know. I don't think it's not like I don't trust him. I just if something concerning is happening, then I don't know. I'd like to figure out what's going on.
Okay. So keeping your distance, he is definitely occupied with whatever it is going on. So no need for a stealth check on that part, if that's what you were even going for. But he heads up and out. You walk by a different two guards that than the two that you had seen previously, who had stopped and confronted you. They eye you curiously, but they've at the very least been told of you and the others' presence here, so they don't stop you as you continue on. And you make your way up and out of the cave into the early morning sun, the sound of the waves crashing against the rock face below, the sound and slight spray of the uh, ocean mist. It's would be, quite a nice view from up here. But your attention turns to where Juka and the other is, and they're walking along the slightly narrow path alongside the cliff face that bends and turns. So at times they go around bends that make you lose sight of them, but there's really only one way that they could be going. So you follow, And as you do, you see that they have stopped up ahead. And they are sort of cautiously peeking around a corner. The city, for you at least, not quite in view, but they are peeking around a corner and then talking amongst themselves in draconic whispering. You're too far away to hear the words. As you contemplate whether to approach or not, you hear what sounds like a, well, it sounds like just a ton of stone or rocks being dropped and colliding with the ground off in the distance, and it echoes through. It sounds far off, but the fact that it's carried, it sounds like it's carried quite a distance, so it gives you the impression that it's something big just happened.
Um, am I within speaking range?
You could be if you wanted to be. It's 60 feet, so probably within raised voice speaking range at the very least, maybe shouting range.
No, I don't want to do that. I want to be like normal speaking voice. I'm not
Oh,
trying
so
to
you want
bring
to get
alarm.
closer then?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you approach, they notice your approach. Juka does a double take and whispers to you in Draconic. What are you doing out? No matter. Stay close to the cliff. Stay quiet.
I'll nod.
He turns back to the scout that had given him the report. This is all that they have been doing. Nods. Since I came down and got you, I had only seen that approach. So, uh, they have not been able to discern any intent. You hear, unmistakable to you at this point, the sound of large, leathery wing beats that give you flashbacks of Sidna.
Oh, I think I don't say.
Again, they peer around the side, and you, where you are right now, basically, you are just before the final bend that would lead you to having a view of the city itself. From where you are now, you can see where the ocean would lead to the docks, and you can see, but you can't see any at all of the city proper. You can see parts of the docks, but that's about it from your current vantage point. Druka asks, do you think that I know we may still be around somewhere? I'm not sure. It certainly does seem like they are looking for something, though. I've never seen them come back to the city and this close before. Normally they just do flyovers. They're actually atop the building searching for something. Or, like you said, maybe someone, maybe us. If that's the case, then we can't take any risks. We have to stay as well hidden as we can, until the Elysians arrive and we're ready to confront them. They find out where we are now, and we are forced to engage them before we have our allies at our backs. Could spell disaster for both of our people. Get back to the cave. I'll rejoin you shortly. Yes, sir. And he moves and scoots his way past you and heads back towards the cave, the one scout, leaving just you and Juka up here. Juka again moves forward a bit to peer around the side and look down towards the city. What are you doing? Done?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
I'm not particularly sure, man. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't expect it to be already out and about.
Juka motions to you. Since you are here, it couldn't hurt to get another opinion. What do you make of them?
Oh, the dragons?
Yes. What do you think they are doing? Come, take a look.
Okay. I'll go take a look see.
Alright. Immediately, amongst the desolated city, your eyes are drawn to the black dragon that sits atop what you recognize as the warehouse that you and Svenkert had investigated along not far, or along the dock, taking up the majority, if not all, of the roof space of this warehouse. You see the rubble and debris of the stone roof and the part of the building that had collapsed from what looks like it having basically dug in to the top with its claws and talons. Above it, 100, maybe 200 feet, circling deeper into the city, is a red dragon. The black dragon peers into one of the holes it had made in the roof of the warehouse before rearing its head back up towards the red dragon and letting out a roar that echoes past you and even into the cave, such that those that are still in and enjoying their breakfast can hear clearly. The red dragon comes down a bit closer to the black, and you can hear them exchange words, though you can't make them out. The red dragon lands on the roof as the black dragon takes off and begins to circle around a different portion of the city. The red dragon looks in and almost nonchalantly, with no seeming effort put in, emits a jet of flame into the warehouse itself. The warehouse goes up in flames and begins to burn as you notice the black dragon beginning to head towards the docks, towards the outskirts of the city, and vaguely in you and Juka's direction. Seems like it's heading out towards the coastline and is flying along the coastline of which you guys are pretty much on in your position along the rock face. And as you and Juka see the black dragon heading in your direction, Juka begins to hastily
Yeah.
make his way back.
Yeah, likewise.
Huh? Could you make a dexterity check for me? You're trying to move rather quickly over, again, it's not the narrowest of ledges, but it's also not the widest. And it does take
11.
11. So, as you and Juka are hurrying back, you can hear the beating of the wings of the black dragon growing louder, louder above and behind you. And though you move quickly, you have to keep your footing and maintain your balance and stability, which does end up slowing the two of you down. And it does seem like, judging by your perception of the dragon behind you, that you're not quite gonna make it to the part where the opening of the cave before it flies overhead. You pass around a slight bend in the rock face, and you and Juka share a quick glance that lets each other know, like, you both know that you're not going to make it in time. You're still maybe about 30, 40 feet away as you can hear the dragon overhead. So Juka presses himself up into alongside the wall, just tries to make himself basically as small as possible. And at this point, the only way to avoid detection would be to attempt to hide and hope that the dragon doesn't see you. Unless you have something else in mind. Juka's gonna hide.
No, I can't really do anything else. I'll do the same thing.
Try to make a stealth check.
Okay. 15.
15.
Can you believe one was a 20?
Alright. As you hear the wing beats overhead and even out of your peripherals, and then as your vision, you can't, your sight, you can see the underside of this black dragon, maybe about 250 feet flying above you, and a bit of the ways out to sea as well. As it passes by, and one of the massive wing beats comes down, you can feel the gust of wind that it causes against your face, though judged by the distance, it's not with any sort of force that would lead to knocking off balance, but you can definitely just feel the breeze generated by thrust of its wings. Luckily, whether it be because you had found the right little nook to hide in, or because the dragon's focus seems more directed towards the open ocean than the actual coastline, it passes by, seemingly not detecting you, and then flies up and over the hill that the cave is made within. And as it disappears from sight, you and Juka hurry the remaining 30, 40 feet and back into the cave, where it feels like for the first time in a couple minutes, you exhale. Juka speaks to you in Draconic. It is not unusual for them to make their rounds, but it is rare that they do so together, and even more since we had fought with them for the last time, that they actually came down into the city. Can't imagine why they would choose now to do so. Look, it was just an unfortunate coincidence. They should have no reason to believe that anyone is here any more than they did before. Unless when you and your friends got here, you wouldn't have left. Did you leave any sort of indication that you were here? Would they have noticed you, do you think?
I don't believe so. Nothing. I mean, we were looking around the town. We didn't. I don't think we left a note. Did we?
And all we can do is continue on as planned. Now that you have seen that what it is we're up against, how is your confidence?
Well, I've dealt with one dragon once.
certainly no small feat.
Yes, it was very difficult to deal with one. I can't
Dragon
imagine what two would.
Slayers are quite a respected group around Konya. Very few and far between can any individual boast that they have bested even some of the youngest dragons. Though the reason and opportunity to do so, at least before recent times, has not exactly been there. But as it would seem, we could certainly use those with that level of experience. Hopefully, once this is done, we can bring you and, well, I as well would like to know exactly what is going on here. If we get through this, I have plans to visit the capital city myself and get some answers. If you want to know what exactly is going on in here as I do, then that would be the place to get them.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay. Anyways, while we wait, anything the rest of you want to be doing, take care of, prepare for? Talk about?
Sorry, I think I'm good now.
Okay, no problem.
As for what the dragons might have been doing there is, I don't know. Maybe they did find some sort of evidence of what we were doing when we were looking around. But even then, couldn't have like no reason for them to believe that somebody would be hiding out in town. I would assume they would think we would have moved on.
Well, all we can do is prepare ourselves the best we can. We want to make sure that our ship is ready to go. That we know our positions, where to go, where to set up, and when we can move out. We're going to have our scouts do limited patrols for the remaining of the day, but we need to know when it is that the Aletian fleet will arrive, so we can know when it is that we must join
We
the fray
can
ourselves.
go ask Era for maybe a more accurate update of when they believe they'll be nearby.
Let's do it. So, Juka and Dran, maybe about 15-20 minutes later, rejoin the rest of you, Elevorn, Netadian, and Era.
Sorry, repeat the last part.
Juka and Dran are back.
Well, I imagine we also heard the dragon.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Well, assuming you guys are back, then we're not in danger? Yet, anyways?
It would not seem so yet. At least, it does not seem as if they are aware of our exact location. Whether or not they are aware of our presence, we cannot be too sure.
Well, like, why would they not come into the cave? I mean, the cave is big enough. If they knew you were here, I mean.
Was it just one or two?
Two. And the only thing I can assume is that they haven't noticed it. It is at sea level, such dragons that normally fly hundreds of feet in the air. That and the vegetation that grows over the mouth of the cave does well to hide it. Though if they were to get any closer, it's not exactly perfectly camouflaged, but hopefully it will do for the few remaining hours that we need it to.
Oh, you didn't mean here, you just meant in general here. Okay.
Yes.
So, do we, have plans? I mean, have you heard anything, Era? I mean, I've been kind of looking at the floor, I mean, the ground, and just thinking about stuff. I haven't really, I mean...
No, I haven't gotten an update yet, but I should probably let them know that they're on the coastline.
Do you think it's weird that you haven't heard back yet?
I guess let's find out. And I'm gonna send a message to Linissa.
Okay.
Dragons? Question mark. Was spotted at the coastline. How's everything on your end?
We have devised a plan. I figure on your end, you and the Draconians are also planning a way to engage the dragons, but you had mentioned diversionary tactics, distractions, and that is what we've been working on our end as well, to hopefully take them off guard. And then that's it, but then she follows up sending you a message of her own to continue the conversation. After speaking with the captain and him speaking with the admiral and other captains of the fleet's ships, we have decided that our best course of action, assuming that our fleet has more capabilities than that of what may remain of the Draconians, that we shall be the first to engage with the enemy. At least you and the Draconians will take our arrival as the signal to engage. And that's her message. They've
It
been
seems
doing
that,
their own planning.
yeah. It does seem like they have their own plan. We probably should give it a bit more of a discussion, but they seem to want to be the first. They're essentially going to be the ones to distract it. And that's going to be our signal for us. Now, what we do at this point is going to be up to us, but somehow that doesn't make it any easier, does it? Because now we have to worry about a whole fleet. But I mean, they know that they're doing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But so from what you guys saw, they were what were they? They were just flying around. They weren't. Were they looking for food, or do you guys have any valuables?
They seem to be searching for something or signs. I'm not sure, but they were definitely searching for something. They were clawing through a building, and before we were forced to return, they had set it ablaze. At least the one of them had. They were definitely searching, at least putting eyes on the city. Closer eyes than we have seen them do before.
But it was the city that they were flying. I know they're flying dragons, but was it? I mean, I imagine you guys didn't take like the most wonderful look in the world. I don't know. I wasn't there, so it's hard to say. But if they weren't at the coast and they were in the city, I mean, do you guys have anything of valuable that would be to them? If not, then did we do anything?
Would not imagine what they might find of value in the rubble of our city. They were certainly flying over the city itself before we were forced to retreat back here. However, one of them did seem to be patrolling the coastline, and that's why we had to make our return. It seemed like we may have been in danger of being spotted.
Well, you guys are still here, so I guess you weren't spotted.
Wouldn't seem so. So, I do not know what it is that the Elysians have planned. I can tell you that what we have remaining at our disposal consists of mainly long-range weaponry that we can fire from aboard our ship here, as well as we have locations set up along the hillside in case they happen to fly close enough for any crossbows and handheld ranged implements to be able to be used. That is what we have. That is what we can offer. Now, what it is that you bring, whether you will be on board our ship or have a means to returning to your fleet or something else entirely, obviously is to you if you want to coordinate, share plans. If there's anything I can do to assist, then just find me. Otherwise, I need to tend to our preparations. Juka waits a moment before nodding and excusing himself to oversee the remainder of the preparations for the Draconians here. Leaving the four of you in Svenkrid. And Era, you also have a opportunity to respond to Lanissa's message, should you wish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
um. I'm not sure what to respond if I'm being honest.
Okay, you don't have to. I'm just saying you could if you wanted to.
I guess I'll just say like, we'll be in contact if I have any more updates to give. So
Okay. Sounds good. No response to that comes from Lanissa as she's saving her spell slots.
as she should.
Yes. So, any final preparations or any preparations that you all wish to make? Anything that you wish to do at this point? About 8 hours until the estimated arrival time of the fleet.
Perfect. Now that we have all gathered here, are properly fed, awake, I actually have some decent-ish suggestions in regards to what spell would be helpful in our situation. So, with that in mind, I have Polymorph, a classic, really. I could either polymorph myself, one of you guys, or attempt it on the dragon. I can, and this is now a technicality for you. So, what if I try to spear a dragon? Because it does say large items. I can pop it out of the sky if it passes, I think, not dexterity.
To what? A dragon? To spear?
Spear.
Sphere.
My ball. I can spear my dragon out of the sky, unharmed. And I can't even dragon out, like it would be in a bubble. If it passes dexterity saving throw 19, just saying. It says creature, large or small.
Okay. Question
Sorry,
is the dragon larger than large is the only question.
Oh my god. That is indeed the question.
To be or not to be?
A big ass
That
ball.
is the question.
Really, in comparison to the sea, it's a small ball.
I don't think you're planning on spearing the entire ocean, but all right.
No.
But she would
Um,
if she would, have a big enough spear.
There you go.
You're right. I need to be thinking bigger. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the entire
Um,
planet is just a sphere. Who knows?
Or we can polymorph it and then sphere it so it doesn't get hurt when it slaps the water from a very high
Yeah, you
from
could if you had 2 concentrations to do.
Well, who said I'm working alone? Who knows?
I'm just saying you would need
yeah,
either
I would.
polymorph in the ring or in conjunction with Elevor.
Oh, I think for the ring, Neri wanted fly.
Okay.
Correct?
That
Mm.
would help. That would definitely help Neridion.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So I guess fly in her ring. I have hold monster if I'm in range somehow.
Without fly on yourself.
Without fly on myself. Or obviously fly onto the dragon and then polymorph it, before it tries to, like torpedo me off of it.
Just hold on to it, make it crash land.
There you go. Yep. Just steer the dragon because that's fine.
But I don't think polymorphing a dragon is a or a suggestion. I could always suggest worst case scenario. Will it work?
Well, I did try to polymorph Sidna out of the sky in Vasselholm, and it just decided it didn't want to be polymorphed the first time I tried. But the second time, so like we had planned for when we faced Sidna again to basically, plan for that whole thing where it can just be like, no, I don't want this spell.
Doesn't it have a limited amount of those, those cancellations or whatever you want to call them? I don't remember that well, but I think it might have been.
That's very good to remember. I must have repressed memory from that. My bad. Let's see.
It isn't meant to be don't use it. It was more just it could decide it doesn't want it to work, and then we have to.
No, it's definitely good. All right, polymorph 3 times in a row. You know what? This is all sounding familiar. Okay.
We had.
Well, those are. Yes, we did. Okay. Well, we know Neri's getting fly in her ring. Anyways, that's all I have for now. I have everything's concentration. Okay, I'm gonna go back to muttering to myself. I'm like
muttering and going over your spell book. Okay, so fly in the ring. It can hold up to 2 more spell slots worth of spells. So either a second or 2 firsts. Or fly at a higher level. So you can fly more than 1 person, I think. Is that how fly works?
Oh yeah, you can target 1 additional creature for each slot above 3.
Yeah, so I mean if you
Oh
want
wow, that's crazy.
If you want to put a
Oh my
fifth
God.
level fly in there, you
Then
can
I
have
wouldn't
fly
need to
for 3 people.
concentrate. Neri, you're amazing. Thank you.
Neri, you concentrate on my fly. Yes, this is perfect.
Nothing can go wrong.
I imagine we have to cast fly more than once. Just throwing it out there.
Well, if you want to do that, do you want to put a 5th level fly in the ring? That's a 5th level spell slot.
Oh yeah, I could also give you expeditious retreat, so you don't use yours.
Gotta have one even.
And suggestion, if you also want to suggest with me, it's crazy. One of them has to work. It's like a 4% chance, but I'll take it. It's a chance.
4% chance. So one of them has to work. That's math right there.
Levitate if you want like a less spicier version of
worse
fly.
Just a worse fly in case you wanted that.
Yeah.
Can't even move with the levitation.
Okay, but like if you use
Go
fly
up and
up,
down.
right, you can at least be like, okay, levitate. I'm not gonna slap the water. I don't know. Detect thoughts if you want to know their feelings, I guess.
How do How do you feel? You know, no one's ever asked me that.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe all
we
we gotta
could
do is
just talk
them.
ourselves out of this, just, how do you actually feel? How are you?
It's never how is the dragon, it's why are you killing us? Every
How
time.
are you killing them?
True. Delicious.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to put a fly in the ring era that Neridan could use to target multiple people, that would be 5th level, and that would be the full spot of the ring. Like, if you wanted to have it so that Neridan could fly on
I think that is an
yourself,
excellent
you,
idea.
and Elevorn, for example, since Durand would have Gildy already.
I like this idea. We're making progress. I love it.
Alright, so go ahead and mark off a 5th level spell slot, and I guess refund yourself a
Oh my
3rd.
god.
Since the 3rd was, if you had marked off the 3rd for the fly, then obviously you don't mark that off. You're instead doing a 5th level.
Oh my god, I'm throwing up. Okay.
Oh no, a 5th level spell down the drain. Wah. I only have 8 of those.
I don't even have any 5th level spells
I have
prepared.
2.
Oh wow.
1 now.
You can still use
Wait.
the slots though.
Oh, it's a slot.
Alright, so yeah,
Crazy.
mark off the 5th level spell slot. So right now you should be down 1/5 and 1/3 because you used a sending spell. Alright, and you have a 5th level fly in your ring of spell storing, Neridion.
Okay, now I short rest. Thank you.
You can absolutely do that if you
I
want.
take a nap. I take a nap here.
No, it's time to take a nap. This is nap time. Strategic
8
nap
hours?
time. Alright, sure. Go ahead. Short rest if you want. What do you get back with a short rest? Your 3rd level? Do you get a 5th level back? How does your arcane recovery work again?
That's an excellent question. Let's see.
It just works.
Oh, it just does? Okay. How could I forget?
Spell slots can have a combined level that is equal or less than 7. None of the
Because
slots
that's
can be
half your level.
6th level or higher.
So you can get back a 5th and a first, a 5th and a 2nd. If you wanted to. No 3rd though. You can get back your 3rd though if you wanted. Or you can get back your 5th.
Honestly, my 3rd level spells are sometimes better. Oh, no, it's not. Level 5, of course.
Level
Oh my god. Watch this fucking fuck me over in some way where y'all are gonna be resting.
You use back-to-back short rests? Multiple short rests?
2 short rests equals 1 long rest.
How that works?
Yeah, I'm fucking know.
Just full sleep again?
Anyways, give me back my fucking spell slot. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that you might be able to. Or
Oh.
can you only arcane recovery?
Oh, okay. So that says
long rest.
I think it's once per long rest, but let me read it. Once per day.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Oh wait, there's another spell that I can use that I can no, that's fine. Well, I'll do that. I'll short rest.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright. So, everyone in the cave is getting ready. There are scouts and watchmen that make their way in and out of the cave. You overhear that it seems like they're setting up certain areas along the hillside, stashing weapons, ammunition in strategic locations to be used if need be. Seems like the dragons have since left the area of Drillheim back further inland where they had come from, but beyond that, not sure. Any sort of ventures into the city as you assume there was before for scavenging purposes have been completely called off. No one is to leave the cave without express permission. At least those amongst the Draconians here. So I'm not sure if any of you are trying to leave the cave for any reason.
No,
Unless
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good in the cave also.
All right. So you continue preparing physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually,
physically again.
like physically again. You had a snack. Is there anything that you all wish to do as morning turns to afternoon and the sun begins its descent towards the horizon?
Well, Elevorn's just been really quiet. She's holding her pendant and just kind of been communing with, LaRue this whole time. Basically, just that's her only focus because, two dragons is way worse than one. But also, she doesn't want to demoralize anybody, so she's, just being quiet.
Eventually, at about 2 hours prior to when the fleet told you they would be arriving, let's call it 3 hours, actually. It seems like preparations have been made, checked, double, triple checked. It has gotten to the point where, like Elevorn, like some of you, a lot of a majority, if not all of the individuals that are going to be confronting these dragons are sat around in mostly silence, their armor and weapons ready, the ship itself ready to exit the cave, just being held in, moored by a few ropes that are pulled taut, the ship itself almost seeming eager to get out to sea. The hustle and bustle that had been going on throughout the day has slowed to a crawl and a standstill, and everyone is now just waiting for the call to action.
So if I noticed that it got really quiet, could Elevorn do Elevorn things?
Yeah, roll for Elephant. What are you trying to do? What are you
No,
doing?
I just thought that, we can't really play music or be noisy, but it doesn't mean that, Elevorn couldn't try to, cheer everybody up. So she gets up and she starts dancing a little bit, and then she turns into a bear and continues dancing.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance check.
That is a 16.
16. At first, get up, you start dancing, and people look on, and it's not a bad performance by any means. You get the attention of some watch, some notice, and then look away, assuming, everyone deals with nerves in their own way. And then you're using a wild shape to turn into a bear? I mean, it's fine. It's like
Yeah.
you have hours, so. you turn into a large brown bear, reddish brown bear, and continue the circus-like performance. It's the younger dragonborn laugh, point. People begin to move closer and watch, and you see a sense of ease breaks the tension, where now people are coming in. Their small conversation is being had mostly about this strange dancing bear that is just here now. And you hear a few people saying, I swear I saw, it was that elf. I saw her turn into, I swear. That's an interesting ability for sure. I'm not sure how it would help us fighting a dragon, but I don't know, maybe it could distract them. It's a pretty good routine. And even after your performance ends, light applause. Once things settle back down, people are engaging in small talk. It's not as tense and silent as it was before. Not long after, fires begin to be lit and food begins to be prepared. One final meal before the bed. As you're eating, Durand, a young bronze dragonborn approaches you. You recognize him as Juka's son, Omek. You had just been introduced to him that morning. He comes up to you and stands near you as you sit with your bowl of food. Looks down and asks you plainly, where are you from?
Uh, um, from here? Konya? You mean specifically?
Hmm, not here, not July, and at least you're not from this part of Draconia.
Yeah. What gave it away?
Well, you're
Yeah,
really
it was rhetorical. Um, no, I'm from. Well, you know, taking into consideration how, asking you specifically, how big is this town in comparison to Ulhar?
Oh, it's big. Your that's comparing it to things that you know,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, well, obviously Daran knows Ulhar, but
Right.
things for you, I would say Ulhar is to sort of Prestfield. What this city is closer to, larger than Grandor, slightly smaller than Vasselholm, probably.
Oh, crap. Okay. So, um, well, comparatively to here, it's a little town, Ulhar Arex.
I've not, I'm not, I don't know where that is.
I, well, I kind of figured. But shame you technically won't ever get the chance to know. But
That side of the country is dangerous anyway. I mean, well, all of it is now, it seems, but before, that's where these dragons that destroyed this city, that's where they come from. Where you come from. I know it's not the same, the differences between you and us, but is not the same as the differences between the dragons that did this and the dragons that live in on this side of Draconia. Guess I was just curious, is all.
yeah, I'm not from the Empire proper. I'm not entirely sure, probably because I've been off in my own um, little world for most of my life. So the rest of the world was kind of shut off to me. I'm not entirely sure. It was hard even to come to grips with the odd looks in the Empire. It seems like I still get the odd looks here, huh?
No, just you can see he's conflicted. It wasn't, I was, before any of this happened, I would never, but don't know what's going on. We don't know who's behind. All we know is what happened to us and what's happening over there, and it does seem it's hard not to draw conclusions based on what we have seen. What we've seen, well, there are fairly clear lines drawn. Who's on which side? Olmec, Druga calls from a nearby campfire. Leave the man be. Olmec looks to his father, to Drand, and heads away.
Well then.
You finish your food. More time passes. Hera, you receive a message. A message from Lanissa. She says, just got word from the crow's nest. We've got land in sight. Let's go ahead and take a break. Well, if you want to respond, you can. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. See you
Yeah, we'll
guys
take a break.
in a short amount of time. you received a sending spell from Lanissa saying that
Yeah.
they had just spotted land.
We have one brain cell to share between all of us. How can we do this smart? Just really stretch that neuron to the limit. Do your brain cells. One is for hoarding, the other is for everyday stuff. No, one brain cell. Tells us what to do all the time.
Trying not to panic, but so you seems that they see land. Let me know if you want me to respond a certain way or what we're gonna do next.
You guys, so have you guys ever played Valhalla? Quick poll. One if you have, and two if you have not. Or one if you even know what it is, honestly. Like if you have a general concept of it. Yes, 111. Most homies have checked out Valhalla. It's a very charming game. Unique.
That was our signal to start doing stuff, kind of. I think, yeah.
A lot of people who
Wasn't it?
interested in that premise of
I might be wrong.
You want to badly, highly recommend that game. We checked out
Bankrit
Hard
speaks
Talk
up.
together on stream.
Well, from what you said earlier, they were the ones that were going to be
similar in style and gameplay because you mix
initiating a
brains,
diversion
choices
of
that
sorts.
matter, various endings, and you meet characters and
Right?
get to know them as you're serving them these
Well,
drinks.
at the very
So
least, we
this
should
game-
let
this game, Dino
the
Punk on
Draconians
paper has a lot of
know
the same
that,
elements,
well, they should
which
be
is why
at
I
the
like
ready,
very much.
certainly.
But think around Japanese TNT.
If we are to let our allies in the fleet make the first move, or at least be spotted first, then we should be ready to go.
Yes.
But
Trust
I
me,
believe
met
that
Eldritch girls
our
before.
plan
They're
relies
wild.
on the dragons being over the
They
open
also are
ocean.
very vanilla, you'd be surprised.
So
Alright,
I think
Dino
we should wait to
Punk
head out until we
set up,
hear or
and
see
then we'll
them
make a check, man, really
flying
quickly.
out over the ocean.
Here's the behind-the-scenes
Maybe
stuff that I
go in
usually do
behind
before
them
stream, but
while
since
their
today was a
focus
little bit
is
last minute,
on the
we're just
fleet in
gonna
front
do
of them.
it live, baby. Do it live, baby. Dino Punk.
And speaking of,
Command should be up.
I assume we are taking
Yeah, we beat
our
Ludwig
boat
last night.
in the one
Oh,
that we
fuck
brought
me, I
in,
typed it wrong.
that we came in
You
on.
know what? Don't look at me.
We will be
Ta-da!
at least
Dino
taking that a
Punk.
part of the way
Here
out.
it is.
Yes?
Yeah, I slept 3 hours. I'm ready to go. Alright, awesome. So, use the Dino Punk command and check out the game for yourself. Oh, thank you so much for pinning it. I keep forgetting we can do that, Ground. Thank you. Let's see, the demo was released today, and the full game releases in May
I have
sometime. And so we're gonna check
brought
it
this up
out
earlier,
together. They sponsored
but
me.
the
Awesome
role
homies.
that I am
I'm
to
really,
play
really
in
honored
this,
by the
I know
opportunity.
you've all
Guys ready?
been
Let's dive in.
planning and coordinating efforts.
Link's not working. My
I
link.
have no means of reaching a dragon in the sky unless I were to
Fuck it. I have another plan.
pick up a
Think to be
ride
dead?
with you, Durant, on
Why?
board Gildy. Alternatively, I've been giving some
Alright,
thought
That's fine.
that if something were to go wrong,
I have another
I
plan.
could stay with
I can
our
fix this
boat
real fast. It's okay.
in
we can
case
fix this within the
any of
next
you need to
7
make your way
minutes.
back in case you
We'll
are
fix
wounded,
it.
or if any of you were to fall and
What would we
need
do without the stuff?
saving.
Nothing.
I could maneuver the
we
ship
live in the scuff.
and
You merely adopted the scuff. I was born in it.
basically be a
Mind
safety
broken by
net
it.
on the water.
Well,
But
now my link is
either
gonna look really
way
ugly, but
you
it's fine.
decide,
Check it
I will
out.
do
Right,
what
so
I can.
here, save. Okay, so here's the new command, but it's a little bit uglier. it's a little
So,
bit it's a little
you
bit
want
uglier.
Svenkrid
'Cause I have
up
to
there
pull
with
it, but
you,
that
Duran,
thing should
basically,
work. I just tested
or
it.
do you want him?
Fuck, I pinned the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. We're good now. Alright.
To stay with the foldable boat.
Alright. Now it's working. Awesome. I have to fix one more thing on my end, and we'll be good to go. Boom, boom, boom.
That's up to all of you guys.
Our streamer, I'm sorry. I wrote
Not
out of
exactly
bed
related
just
to what you're asking, and
an
it is
hour
a
ago,
good
and then I
point.
made pico
You know,
de
about the boat and
gallo for the
everything.
first
But,
time, at home because I was just craving it.
I could make
And
it so we
then
could
I-
all breathe
I
in
touched
the
the
water.
jalapeno, and
I
then
mean,
touched
if
my
things do
nose,
go
and it
wrong.
hurt.
I mean, us plus maybe
I don't
5
know
more
if you've
people.
ever had spicy nose before, but I just sat there like crying for like 15 minutes. Like, why? Why didn't I wash my
Is that
hands?
something that
Why
needs
am
to
I
be
so
done
stupid?
beforehand or
What
in the event
Well,
of?
Alright.
I mean, it would be hard to gather
Alright,
us
we
all if we're
good?
just
It's
gathered in the
Dino Punk
ocean
time.
to do it,
One
so it'd be
last
better
time.
to do
Check
it.
out the demo
It
for
lasts a
yourself.
day.
I'm gonna
You know.
play this game
It
lasts
in
an
a way
entire
that you're
day.
gonna be like,
Well,
Ryu,
then
no, what about the other
Yes.
sooner rather than later.
Oh, of
I
course.
think
I
we
just
should let Juga know now and let him decide, I suppose, the additional 5 persons that will be receiving this.
yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, you guys can hear the game, right? The smooth jazz.
So I guess I'll go find him.
Moving to Sin
Okay.
City.
You go find Juga,
Leaving my home behind.
who is not far away from their ship.
I've come a long
Looks like he's coordinating some last minute, though unbeknownst to him, last minute decisions and preparations.
Yeah, of course. You know, so be like, hi, I know you're really busy, and we haven't spoken very much. I like it, by the way. I know you're Chuka and in charge. Anyway, I can make it so that, you know, like, well, my team plus like 5 more people could breathe in the water. You know, if that was a. I mean, we're going to the ocean soon, so, you know. I'll last for like a day. I mean, they can still breathe on land too, but, you know.
That certainly is useful. Were you needing us to do this now?
Yeah, that now would be good. Yeah, now. I mean, you know.
Is there a urgency? Is there a rush? I was.
Oh yeah, we heard back from the people, and they see land or something. So we're, you know, and yeah. But I just thought that I would try to, you know, see
Well,
if you
that's
and
very
others
different.
would.
Yes, okay. One moment, and he begins to call out orders to basically get the ball rolling on getting ready to move out. And all of a sudden, the entire cavern is come to life with movement and adrenaline as the Draconians begin to make their way, some to the ship, some taking up places near the where they would head out of the cave to head to their stations. Juka begins to point and call out names and individuals that he's picking out of the crowd. Most of all of them are ones that are going to be assigned to the ship to be amongst the 5 of his people that will be receiving the water breathing. What did you say, Max?
Oh, no. That was. Ignore that.
Okay. And Juka shouts out, I need everyone standing by. The moment that you get sight, hear any indication that the dragons have spotted the legions on the horizon, you let me know, and we will begin our approach. And again, he brings the 5. One of them is himself over to you and the others, Elevorn. These are the individuals, my second in command, as well as 3 of our finest sailors, ones who, in case of the worst coming to pass, would be able to benefit the entire group the most by being able to survive any catastrophes.
Okay, so you'll be able to breathe underwater, but also on land, so it doesn't like take away anything, and it lasts like a day. So you'll have until tomorrow around this time, and I'll begin casting the spell.
Okay. Elfhorn goes ahead and casts the spell. All of you gain the effects of water breathing immediately. No change, no physical or any. You don't feel any different whatsoever. But the spell, casting of the spell concludes. For the next day, you can all breathe underwater. Don't know how that's gonna help, but alright. So, the 5 of you, do you have plans of your own. Is there anything that you need from us?
There's distraction. Yeah. They will both react.
Need? Will you be? Do you have a method to get out to sea, to get to the dragons or to your allies, or will you need to come with us aboard our ship?
Look at this. And I would have been would have some video.
Yeah, I assume that's at least part of your plan. The one crucial part of your plan.
That means
Svenkrid asks, if we are to take our own ship out, I mean, we could at least go with them part of the way. I assume that theirs is much faster than ours. They could get us there quicker. Once we are out there, we could separate as to not draw, or as to not draw the attention of the dragons into one specific location.
yeah.
So, the ship begins to be populated by these dragonborn. Most of the mooring ropes are let off until it's being held by but a single rope, and they're ready to disembark on a moment's notice. The minutes pass like hours, as everyone is tense at the ready. You almost could feel the ambient temperature in the cave rise just due to the amount of adrenaline and the body heat that is being let off. You guys make your way on board the ship as well. Your folding boat at the ready. You still have not told me where you would like me. So basically, it's either him on board Gildy as well, because he has no other way of flying, or basically he's just a medical boat in the ocean just in case something goes wrong. You guys need some sort of rescuing or saving, or you guys can make your way back down to the boat for, some nice lay on hands and cure wounds action.
Well, I think things are going to go wrong, so I think having him as a medic is nice. So we don't die permanently.
Only temporary death is acceptable.
Exactly.
Was it better that he's mobile on Guildy, or? I mean,
Oh.
boat is still mobile, but less so compared to a dragon.
True.
Gildy also will be directly in the face of these dragons, I assume.
Is Guildy going to need your help, do you think? kind of like looking towards around. And well, yes, I just mean, will he require a medic? You know, like healing and such that Sven could provide.
Oh, yeah. Technically, just like
Put all your paladins in one basket.
Hmm. All right, you can do that too. So maybe the boat is better.
All right. I'll do my best to take what I've learned from the two of you. And I will be watching you.
I can feel my
The firebolty gloves. Okay. Okay, that's
yeah,
something
so
that he could
just
do.
fine.
He can do that as this little every little bit helps. Certainly. This he puts the gloves on. Just gotta make sure that I aim it at the right dragon. Should be fairly obvious. In against half of our foes, this is going to be completely ineffectual. A call from near the entrance to the cave. Dragons! Coming from inland, on the horizon. Both of them. They are maybe 5, 6 minutes away from the coast. I cannot be sure whether or not they have seen anything yet. Alright, you heard them. It's time to go. We wait until they have passed the coastline and have made their way out to their legions, and we follow behind them. When they engage, or when the legions engage with them, that is our cue. We fire upon them with all that we have. We take the bastards down. Let's go! And Juka rallies his men onto the ship as the 5 of you as well are on the ship as it begins to head off. In the coming minutes, you begin to hear the far-off sound of a pair of wing beats, 2 sets of dragon wings beating that grows louder, louder with each beat. Are you ready?
I would like to point out, even though it's kind of pointless, I am automatically mage armoring as per usual. Thank you.
Understood. Good to know. Mage armor automatically.
It just bobs onto her when she's in danger. So
Just like that. Just like
That'd
that.
be too good. Just a couple taps, a brief shimmering outline of blue arcane energy, and then mage armor is applied. Any final last minute spells, preparations, and as the ship, the final rope is released and it is rowed, guided towards the mouth of the cave. I shall take that as a no.
Into the thick of it.
Okay. So, you hear the beat of the dragon's wings. The ship itself is at the mouth of the cave entrance, and you can see through the vines and vegetations that hangs down specks on the horizon that you make out to be the fleet. You can see, you watch as a black dragon, maybe about looking at about the size of a small bird, how far it is away from you right now, flies out over the ocean. You hear an echoing roar coming from behind it as you see, maybe a few 100 feet behind, the red dragon follows. Juka yells in a booming, commanding voice to lower the sails, and they are, as the ship pushes out from inside the cave out into the open ocean in pursuit of these dragons, hundreds of feet off, heading out in that direction. You hear the sound of the footfalls of the soldiers making their way out of the cave along that path that leads to the hillside to take up their positions, both in the city and on the hill, and on the hilltop that covers the cave itself. The ship itself is moving with assisted wind power and uh, rowers down below decks, attempting to basically get as much speed as they can to be in position for the time to attack most opportunely. You guys make your way out to sea. The cave, Drillheim, beginning to fade on the horizon. The setting sun disappearing beneath the hilltop behind you, casting most of what you see in front of you into darkness. Juka calls out, and we don't want to give the signal too early, but when I do, send up the signal so that those back on shore can light the flame atop the hill. He gets a response from the crew down below as Juka is manning the helm of this large battleship. You can see that the three ballista, two on the deck behind him, one on the bow of the ship, is loaded, primed, and manned, ready to fire. I would like either one of you with advantage or two of you to make a perception check, please. As you can see, the dragon's now maybe 1,000, 1,500 feet, perhaps, away from the ships, although with the last vestiges of the sunlight as it disappears behind the hill, soon it'll be difficult to see that far out into the ocean. The sun is setting, but from like how you guys are coming on, Drillheim is on the east coast of Dracania, so the sun is setting on the west, so behind you guys the sun is setting. So it's actually setting down behind the large hills and the forest behind, so It's not completely nighttime. You still can see behind you the light of the setting sun, but it's not providing much in the way of light here in the ocean now, as far out as you guys are going to be. So the sun's not setting out in front of you over the ocean. The sun's setting behind the land. Okay. Anybody else? Neredion, you want to make a perception check?
In your dreams.
Elevorn, then?
It's 26 total.
Okay. So, this allows you guys to gauge about the distance that the dragons are away. They're about maybe like 1,500 feet away. The fleet that you could see, although the details of how many ships there are, it doesn't seem like it's the entire fleet, but it's hard to tell exactly the detail of the legions coming forward as they are much further out. But gauging the speed of the dragons and as best you can assume that there is maybe 2-3 minutes before they reach the fleet, or the fleet reaches the dragons. Svenkrid speaks up. I think it's about time that we make our departure from this ship. We need to make up some ground.
Best solution to a problem is to avoid it, right? No, bro, it's not right. I'm still gonna get yelled at for being late.
The folding ship splash hits the ocean below the ship that you're on and unfolds into the large ship that you had taken in. The five of you make your way down a rope ladder along the side and cross over onto your foldable boat. The sails are lowered. Svenkrid takes up the helm. And you go. Quickly, you guys aren't quite as fast as the other ship, but do you have anything that might assist? You could do that.
I could, use the water to push us. Control water to,
You could do
propel
that
us.
too. Yeah. Speedboat. Or you could do both. But as Durand is saying this, flashbacks of Elevorn being hitched as a horse hits her. She instead offers, I could instead do this.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened there. I don't want to murder Gildy.
Pull this boat, Gildy. Alright. So, I love when you're casting control water.
Yeah.
Alright, with a lurch, the bow of the ship comes out of the water ever so slightly, or raises up slightly as the water around the ship is controlled and pushes you all forward, quickly overtaking the ship of the Draconians and speeding along towards the dragons and the Erlesian fleet. As you guys seem to be making up ground now, you are still many hundreds of feet behind the dragons and even further away from the Erlesian fleet itself. Again, now as you get closer, Durand, Elevorn, you are able to see a bit better, despite the ocean spray and mist that is being kicked up from the newfound speed of your boat. You can see, maybe it seems, what they had planned. You see, at first you had seen a couple ships, but as you get closer, you can see that there are in fact more, although it seems like only a couple of them have hooded lanterns or lights, like dim lights, almost as if they're trying to be a little bit discreet, and the rest of the ships are in complete darkness. So basically, they're using the lights of a couple ships, maybe ghost ships, you're not sure, to disguise the advance of many, is what it would seem. However, I mean, you guys are able to point this out, but your eyes are specifically gifted, so let's see if the dragons can see it as well. What do you guys do? So you see two ships that have very dim lights or one ship that has very dim lights and about three more that are sailing in complete darkness. The dimly lit ship is a bit ahead. From this distance, you definitely cannot see whether or not anyone is on board any of these ships, but they are spaced upwards of 100 feet apart from each other. At this point, the dragons and the ships are maybe 200-300 feet apart, but the dragons are still high in the air, and as they cross that sort of 300-foot threshold, they begin to descend towards the ships, unleashing each of them in concert ferocious, deafening roars, though you're far enough back that they will merely echo and peter out by the time the sound gets to you. So they're about 300 feet away from that. I'd say you guys are maybe about 500 feet behind the dragons at this point. But your ship is moving faster than they are flying. I mean, Gildy could just stand on the ship if you want. So he's keeping up just fine. Right. The Draconian ship, however, is now lagging a few hundred feet behind. It seems like they will be a little bit late to the show if you guys continue at this pace and the dragons and the Elysians engage each other as soon as possible. Okay. How long does control water last, Elevon?
10 minutes.
So as you guys continue forward, by the time that the dragons begin to make their descent, the way that they split up, you can tell it seems like they were able to see those hidden ships. One of the dragons, the red dragon, goes for the one that had the lights about it. The black dragon veers off towards some of these ships that had attempted to mask themselves in darkness. At this point, you guys are maybe about 200 feet away, and I would like everyone to now roll initiative.
$20.
10.
Wow.
22.
Okay. Okay. Why do I have so many? Alright. So as you guys are continuing to speed forward, you hear the bellowing roar from the black dragon as one of the ships, this 30-foot spew of caustic dark green black acid, streams over the ship itself and even splashing onto the water, sending up clouds of caustic smoke and steam that obfuscates your view of the ship and completely bathes the area in this acidic smoke. It swoops past, flies back up into the air, and looks like it's about to make a second pass at another nearby ship. Elevorn, it is now your turn.
Okay. I guess I'm going to use investiture of. Well, I'm going to jump off the boat, and as I do, use investiture of flame, because I don't want to set the boat on fire.
Okay.
And now I'm a
In the water.
burning fairy drake in the
A
water.
burning fairy drake in the water. Okay, treading water alongside the boat. You're still controlling the water, so you're able to use the currents that you're able to manipulate and keep you at a similar pace to the ship. Oh wait, is control water concentration?
It's concentration. Yeah.
Okay, so the ship is slowly pulling away from you now.
But the
at a
point
slower
was
speed.
to draw attention because I was like a bright flash of light, as I was jumping off the boat.
Yes. However, they are still hundreds of feet away from you, and they are still, they have the ships of the fleet right there, their main target at the moment, anyway.
Okay.
Alright, so Elevorn is a wreathed in flames fairy drake treading water, not too far at this point away from your ship, still well within range of either speaking or casting spells. Next up, the red dragon, who had its focus on the maybe distraction ship. Again, you see the inhale. You can see from the chest to the throat up to the mouth goes from the bright, vibrant red scales to a burning orange, and in places even white hot, as it exhales this massive cone of flames that engulfs the ship. Instead of the sort of white caustic steam and smoke of the black dragon, this is this dark, black, thick smoke that rises from the result of its flames. And at the tail end of its flame, it beats its wings and climbs into the air, scans below, and finds one of the darkened ships that at the moment looks like it's slowly maneuvering, trying to veer off away from dragons. Era, it is your turn. Two of the ships have apparently gone up in flame, although at this point it's hard to see the fleet at all due to the combination of thick black and white smoke.
My bad. I was muted. What's our distance?
Right now, I believe I said you're about, what, 200-300 feet away?
Oh my god, I can't do anything. Alright, hold up.
Don't have to go crazy. You can stay with the ship. You can send
Yeah.
run away.
I guess I'm going to hold slow until we get close enough range.
Okay, just so you know, if you don't use the spell by your next turn, you do lose the spell and the spell slot.
Ah, okay. Well, no, then I'm not gonna do shit. Yeah, nothing yet then. I don't want to risk losing it.
Brings us to you, Dran. Alright, Durand on top of Gildy. Gildy takes flight and I'm assuming just heading straight towards it. Alright. So, Durand, you get to the point where you're maybe a little more than 200 feet. Is Gildy's a 60-foot or a 90-foot speed? 60, okay, so about 250 feet away you are. Well, with dash you can get to just within 200 feet. Next up, we have Neredian.
Yeah, well, I can't really do anything.
You got the ring. You can fly on people. How long does fly last? Is it like
10 minutes.
10 minutes? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
That's a good
10
amount of time.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if other people want to maybe need to fly later on, so...
Okay. So, right now, Dadan just took off. It's on the ship right now is Use, Fencrit, and Era. And Elevorn right now is in the water as a fairy drake, but is not able to quite keep up with the ship, so you guys are slowly leaving her behind. Do you have a swim speed as a fairy drake, Elevorn?
No.
Okay. So you're not doing anything there, Dion?
No.
Okay. Svenfrey continues to maneuver the ship and... Do I continue going forward? Oh. Elevorn can't keep up with us. How... Tempted to look back and looks to both you and Era and Neredian.
I'm gonna speak into the bracelet. Do you need us to come back, or are you gonna be okay? I have to get closer, otherwise I can't do much from this range.
Man, I'll bring us around closer. At least we'll slow down momentarily so that we can do something. We need to We can't leave her out there. But she can't be on the ship. She wreathed herself in flame. I assume to protect herself from the red dragon, but we need to find a way to get her to them. Good. He maneuvers the ship to not get much closer to the dragons, but to make sure that you could stay within range of Elevon.
Then maybe we should wait for Elevord, and Neri, if you want, you can use your ring, have the range, and they don't suspect us to be coming from anywhere. So if there's any good time to use it, maybe it would be now. Oh, rather after Elevord. I'm also like holding the button to the bracelet, so Elevord can also hear the conversation.
Yeah. Do you guys also want the ability, or should I just use myself? Or...
It would be better if all three of us could have fly, and it wouldn't use up my concentration. So yeah, I think it would be a good idea. Elevord, can you make it towards us?
Elvorn will just continue towards you. She can't actually talk. I mean, she can understand Draconic and whatever, but
So Drake paddling,
she can make
doggy
noises.
paddling, just coming, just rainbow
noises.
Drake noises, indeed. All right, next, the black dragon. See if it recharges its breath attack, which it does. Spotting one of the other ships which had begun to peel away and attempt to move away from the smoldering ships that had been the first targets of the attack, not able to move nearly fast enough, the black dragon makes another pass, taking out the third of the four ships that you have seen, or at least making another pass, hitting it with another blast of its acid breath. Another plume of this caustic white smoke goes into the air. Dran, you are able to see it more from an aerial view, so you have a better vantage than the others, although you still can't see through the thick black and white smoke. But it does appear like it's been another hit, and you don't see any action, movement, anything coming from within the smoke, within the Elysian fleet. Elevon, it is your turn.
I'm dashing towards the ship.
Dash.
If I can even do that.
You can dash, yes, but you're still pretty... What's your movement speed? Anyway, you're going... You managed to move that far, basically. I think it's half speed if you don't have a swim speed. So
30?
You are keeping up as best you can. Next up, the red dragon, who also, with a fun, does get its breath weapon back and makes its way towards the last ship that you can see had maybe gotten a little bit of distance away. Not quite able to reach it, as it was about 100 feet away, but it is flying maybe about 75, 80 feet above it, and you can see it priming, and it's another breath weapon attack for the near future of the legions below. That brings us to you, Era. Right now, the ship is perhaps, I want to say, 240 feet away. Standing close to where Nedarian is, as well as where Elevon is, trying to keep up with the ship so that you can all be within range to get that juicy fly spell. Is there anything else that you want to do? Era? Are you muted again, Max?
I was muted. Ooh. Dragon distance.
About 240 feet.
Ah, God. I can't do shit. All right.
Hang out, wait for fly.
You
I
go
have
with
to.
cantrip.
Oh. Yeah, but like if okay, so I can.
I have
Mm,
actually a question. Sorry, because I recommended it, but then I was like, can she react to stuff still? Like,
As far as what?
well, I mean, could she use her reaction, like, instead of, like, could she choose not to use the cantrip, even if she's holding it on her reaction, if she needed it for some other purpose?
Like normally you have to assign like a trigger, but like what else would you want to use a firebolt
like
for?
I can hold a firebolt because it's not gonna just cost anything, but I don't want to bring attention to us on the small boat either. So like if I shoot at it, I might grab its attention entirely, and I thought that was what we're avoiding. Plus the range is 120, so even if I can just hold it for like, to hold it, but it's not gonna do anything. It's out of range.
So hanging out, waiting to get the fly.
Maybe helping. I'll help paddle a little bit, like try to push the boat.
Push the boat.
Thank you.
Okay, got it. Sounds good. Go ahead and make a strength check. Athletics.
Oh
rather.
my. Okay.
Let's see,
Well,
let's see how much you help.
whatever. Oh my God! It's worse than I thought. It's 5. Whatever.
You help propel this round the ship an additional 5 feet. So now you are about 235 feet away from the dragon. Daran, it is your turn. You see the dragon heading for, from what you've seen, the final of the Elysian fleet that has come up to serve as this sort of diversion for the plan. Apparently. Okay. Yes. So that doubles yours and Gildy's movement speeds. More importantly, Gildy's. So it doubles it to 120, correct?
Yeah.
And with dash, that's 240. You'd be able to reach the red dragon. The black one is further at this point. But alright. So just beeline straight zipping toward like a gold Draconel missile. Alright. So haste breath is your bonus or your action? Okay. So with that and with Gildy using dash, you can get near the red dragon, but you've got a bonus left and that's it. Well, you also have a hasted action, I guess. Yeah? Okay, so the hasted action, so Gildy still has his action, because the hasted action would be dash. And then you also have your hasted action too. Pokeball go. Alright, so you come up from the dragon. It doesn't seem to notice you as you come along. Its intent is focused down on the ship with a 6 on its perception check. It doesn't notice you and Gildy right behind it. However, see, go ahead and make your attack roll. Dexterity and proficiency. Indeed. So it would seem.
Find a way out. You found it. It's
Really? You rolled a 19 or 18 or something? Wow. Okay. So, as you zip forward on Gildy, your head lowered almost like in line with Gildy's head and neck to basically reduce any sort of air friction and increase your aerodynamics. You zip towards it. You reach into the bag and grab out the wing haver stopper, the banded metal ball. You take it and you wait until you get close, almost undetected. You veer back, and just at that moment, as you veer back, you could see the eye of the dragon turn back towards you. You throw it, and as it does, the bands unfold into this large spiderweb-like tangle of mithril metal that wraps around the torso and the wings of the dragon, knocking it slightly off balance and restricting the wings to the body. It looks like it's just large enough to get over part of it. It doesn't even, the bands don't even go around the body and connect, but it is enough to restrict and restrain the wings. And the red dragon immediately begins to fall, I believe. Is it on its turn it gets to attempt to make the save or the check? Or does it do it immediately? Okay. So, with that, the dragon falls the about maybe 150 feet, and while restrained by the wing haver stopper, and a large splash that sends some water over and through the ship that it's near. Yeah, the red dragon is restrained. You can see it thrashing about in the water, setting up frothing, creating frothing waves as its tail, torso, head, neck disappear beneath the water. The dragon itself does take some bludgeoning damage from the fall. From 150 feet, it's pretty, especially if it can't brace itself in any sort of way. Just dragon belly flop into the ocean. That's going to be painful.
Falls hard enough, the dragon is gonna rupture something.
The dragon takes 34 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall. Right. Is that your turn? Do you have a bonus? No. His action. His action. Well, Gildy can, if Gildy has his action, he can dash, right? We're using Gildy's movement, I think. You can dash as an action as well.
Wait, would you like a drink? Just like that? No charge?
Yeah. Actions per APR, actions per round. Okay, so 120 feet closer to the black dragon. You can try to go over or through the smoke. Going over obviously would take more distance, but you'd be able to actually see. because between you and where the Black Dragon is, there are 2-3 ships that have been attacked. Through the smoke. Alright, I would like both you and Gildy to make constitution checks, please. As you have water breathing, you do not have smoke breathing, unfortunately. Probably. Okay. Okay. Alright. So this is basically you guys holding your breath. It does sting at both of your eyes to fly through the smoke, especially at the speed that you're going. But you're able to each hold your breath seemingly just fine, at least for the time being. You end your turn surrounded in the middle of this cloud of smoke, presumably from a ship that is burning not far beneath you. Next up, we have Neredian.
Fun times. Is it truly me? No way.
Yes. It's you.
Okay, Sven and Era are on the boat. Where's Elevorn?
Elevorn is off the side of the boat, but close enough.
I still have to reach down to touch. It's touch.
It's touch.
It is very much a touch.
Just pull Era off, and you all dive down and.
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Cannot touch Elevorn right now.
Just
Forget
touch
it.
her. You
No,
have to.
stop.
No, you got
No.
to.
Okay,
You
my
got to-
spell's gone.
You have to fly.
Before she
No.
touches
Oh my
me.
God.
Yep.
No,
No.
your spell is not gone.
It is
Good
too.
touch. No,
She
I
can
can
take it.
I can
She
take
can
it.
take it. She can take
No.
it. She can take it.
I touch.
I touch.
Yeah,
I touch.
I mean, how about, Air and Sven hold Nere's legs while, if I have to reach down to Elevorn, so, everybody's touching Nere somehow and fly.
Alright.
I don't care if I
That
burn
works.
a little bit.
Alright, so I'll roll for the investiture unless you want to, Elevorn.
There's no need.
No, it's still up.
No, it's not.
Why are you doing this?
Because I wouldn't do that. Because basically this was all just a mistake. It's fine. Don't fix my mistake. You guys can fly. It's fine.
Why are you being difficult? I don't wanna just
I'm
give you
not being
fly.
difficult.
But now you're just gonna be stranded in the water. That's not.
No, we're
I'm
not gonna
Elevorn.
strand you in the. But we're
It's
not gonna
fine.
leave you stranded in. No, it's not fine, Elevorn. Wait. I will not. Listen, we go to.
We go together.
Trust me, I need you. I will die.
Well, I don't mind having fly, but I'm not burning anymore because I wouldn't set anybody on fire on purpose.
Okay, that's fair. But we fly. That's what matters.
Okay, we fly that tonight. Okay, so
So everybody gains that
Everyone
60
gets-
feet of flying speed
yep.
for 10 minutes, and yeah, it's concentration, so if there's some checks sometimes then, you know.
Alright. So, Netadion, Era, and Elavoin, you all have fly. So, cast the spell, Netadion. You are now the holder of the fly. You are the one concentrating on everyone's ability to not go plummeting to the ground and or water. You taken off in front of the ship, heading towards the dragons, one of which the three of you had seen come splashing down. You saw Duran's, you guys' plan in action, the wing haver stopper, seemingly a success, at least in the first stages of it, as the dragon collided with the ocean, sending up a large wave and then sinking beneath the water. The black dragon still flying high above the waves.
Might be crazy, but I think I'm gonna go after the black dragon.
Alright, you guys are still about 200 feet away, so after you use the spell, you can travel your 60 feet in the fly, and since you're a rogue, you also bonus action dash if you wanted to close the distance to about 80 feet. So, Netadion tucks her arms in and begins to zoom off over the waves towards the black dragon. Alright. Unfortunately, you're now too far away for what Svenford wanted to do before you guys took off. Unfortunate, but that
I
is
mean,
the way it is.
he can just, you know, say before I'm
Hey,
gonna
hold
go.
on, wait!
Yeah, wait!
Wait, one sec, just wait a second! Hold on, Netadion. Stick around for just one moment if you can. I will bless the three of you before you go.
Okay.
And so next up would be Svenkard, holding his pendant. He casts Bless. Sure. He'll include it at second level just in case to add himself to the mix. So, all four of you here on or around the boat get the effects of Bless for the next minute. Which leads us then to the Black Dragon, who, after hearing the roar and the sound of the massive splash caused by the red dragon being banded with the wing haver stopper and collapsing into the ocean, turns his focus in that direction. Durand, you can't see it. It flies over towards the smoke. Netadion, Era, Elavoin. You can see the black dragon peering down around, and then suddenly, almost like a sixth sense of kinds, it looks to a point in the deep black smoke, rears back, and spews forth this breath of acid into the smoke itself. Both Durand and Gildy, I need you to make a Constitution saving. No, hold on, sorry, Dexterity. It's Dexterity. You have more Dexterity than Constitution? Oh. Yeah. 17. Okay. So you succeed, as does Gildy. You take no damage, Gildy takes half. Correct? Gildy takes would have been 47 points of acid damage, but is halved to 23. As the last second, you sense, well, you can hear the roar and the exhalation, the sound of this high-pressured breath attack coming towards you, and you raise your shield in that direction, and you can feel the impact against your shield, the force of it against your shield against Gildy as well. It knocks you both kind of off, a little bit off your course that you were going. You can feel the stinging as bits of acid peppers your face and arms. Not enough to do damage, but enough to know that you had just in time got your shield up to protect you from the brunt of the impact. Also protecting Gildy to some extent, though you hear his dragon-like cry of pain as he veers off out of the main jet stream of this acid. You can see as you emerge from the smoke, the parts of Gildy's scales and flesh, where the golden sheen has been stripped away, revealing the reddish pink flesh underneath his scales. That is the black dragon's turn. Next up is you, Elevorn. With Bless, Fly, this wingless dragon takes to the sky.
Finally, no. I can fly as the fairy drake.
As
It's
a drake, I
adorable.
can fly. So just like with your fore and hind legs just kind of limp beneath you, you're just like Appa from Airbender, from Avatar, just flying, just floating through this. Yip yip. Alright, so Elevorn, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm going to head towards the dragon that's, well, I don't know actually. What am I doing?
So you can see one dragon vaguely through the black smoke that is dissipating. The black dragon, it seems like through the smoke caused by the red dragon's flame that wreaths around this black dragon, it almost looks like it's a dragon made of shadow. From your perspective and point of view, you had just seen it spew into the smoke itself. You saw Durand and Gildy emerge from the smoke the other side. At this point, you still can't see the ships that have been attacked. You can still see the one that Durand had just gotten to in time to prevent from being the target of the red dragon. But the smoke itself at this point is beginning to slowly dissipate.
Okay, I'm headed towards wherever I saw Durand last.
Alright, so you get to about the point where you're around 100 feet away from Durand. And that's
And
with your dash.
yeah.
Right? What's that?
Okay, that's fine.
Alright. Next is the red dragon. Who? What is the DC on your wing haver stopper, Durand? Thank you. I'm chock full of them. Let me see, I got it up here. Cliff's Wing Haver Stopper 2.0. DC 21 strength check. Should be in the. Do you not have the docks? Okay. Let's see if it breaks free. DC 21 strength check for this red dragon. Okay. At the moment, the red dragon hasn't returned. Whether or not it broke free or not, you can't be sure, but it is still beneath the waves. Era, it is your turn. Okay.
Okay. So Elevorn went into the direction where she last saw Durand.
Yep.
One dragon's in. Oh, okay, towards the black dragon. The other dragon's still in the water. We don't know where it's chilling. Okay. Literally. Anyways. Let me see. Hold on. I guess I will also head into the direction of dragon, but I want to stay a little usually like a little bit behind everybody.
A little bit behind, so a little bit behind Elevorn then?
Yeah.
Alright, so you're at the point where you're about 120 feet away from Durand. Maybe about 150, 180 feet away from the black dragon.
But, 150, okay.
You're staying about maybe 20, you're flying about 20 feet behind the fairy drake that is Elevorn.
I am going. So how would flying work if I'm not the one concentrating? Can I just cast something as I'm flying?
Sure.
What if I feel confused? Okay, cool. So,
It's just like normal movement.
Okay, I would like to hold. Oh, fuck. You know what? As a matter of fact, I think I'm just gonna hold a firebolt as I go closer, and I would also like to make that poison.
Okay.
If I can, yeah.
Sure. Alright, that brings us to you, Durand. You and Gildy have emerged from the smoke on the other side after having, you deflected and Gildy partially avoided the breath attack of the black dragon.
Right.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and
Am I still in this smoke?
No, you're now out of it. And the smoke is now dissipating. You can see the black dragon through the smoke that you had just come out of. What? It's just that the smoke is like just between you guys. It's not so heavily thick up here. Okay, you're about maybe 50, 60 feet away from the black dragon. And you guys are each maybe 100 feet in the air right now. Okay. So Gildy flies up. How much does Gildy heal for?
10.
Okay. Alright, so you fly up to the black dragon. You see it has these dark green eyes. Its lower jaw slightly protruding from in front of, past its upper, jagged fangs and teeth that are dripping with acid as you fly up to it. Its scales and the leather of its wings seem to be the age of maybe like a young adult dragon. They don't seem to have the spots and marks of a dragon that has been around for hundreds of years.
Anything similar to the one I saw.
Other than it being black, it would take some time to analyze that if you wanted to.
No, just
At a cursory glance, other than it being a black dragon, again, you didn't really take the time to analyze the one back home either. So.
right.
Both things that your dragons are notoriously bad at. Alright, what are we doing?
I am
Blinding smite. Okay.
so
Blinding
bonus
smite. Gotcha. Better make your attack roll. That does hit, yes. What do you mean? I'm just gonna get its minus D4 if that's what you're talking about. To the saving.
So I get each one.
What are you talking about? Oh, Gildy gets a blinding smite as well?
Yeah. I wanted to
So, I know what you're talking about because you've done it before.
Well,
but I've never.
so you that target you also
I know that you're. Like, you've used it before, so I know that that's the case, but you just never used it on an offensive spell like this before, so that's. If that works, that works! Let me just read something. Yep, Blinding Smite is range self, so. I guess
Wait,
that
does that
works? Does that work? Does.
is that
Or vitality? That seems weird. This is a weird rule. Considering, like, whose concentration is it taking up? Because Blinding Smite is concentration, so your aura of vitality will drop, just so you know. Oh, what?
Well,
You have the thought of vitality, yeah. So, that's so weird.
I have to guess.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna
No double blinding. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a reason why it wouldn't work.
Okay, so
Fuck is. So, channeling your divine energy and almost like two of you connected as if like a conduit for it, your spell bleeds from you into Gildy as well, and the talons very briefly and faintly glow with a divine radiance.
Yeah.
You can.
So in when I
Okay. So, how much damage did you say that was again? 29? And a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. Well, that's 13.
Oh,
So, your sword slashes down as it roars out at you, slashes right between the eyes, and the divine radiance that bursts from the wound flashes right in its face, and you can see the blank stare as the light fades from the dragon. Alright. Go ahead and make good. Roll for Gildy.
that's awesome. On that one.
That does hit. Plus a 3d8 from the blinding smite. Just more reasons why
Also-
Durand is broken. Okay. Is it double blinded though? That's the question.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
it's a 6 on the dice. I'm not using this one.
no.
No. All right. Is that you and Gildy's turn, or do you have more?
Um,
Did you use bonus action, hasted action? He does. So just a normal attack.
we can use it. Which depend.
No, that does not hit.
That is
Alright, at the end of your turn, the black dragon is going to use a legendary action
fuck.
to attempt to use
First
a
one?
wing attack.
Oh, okay.
So it beats its wings against in your direction, as it does know the direction that you were when you hit it, at least. So I need both Durand and Gildy to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I got 17. Got
Okay, Gildy is fine, and takes, let's see, half damage. So Gildy takes 13 halved is 6 points of bludgeoning damage. Durand, you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone, which I'll say for the intents of this means dismounted. And you fall the 100 or so feet through the smoke towards the burning ship below. What's up?
I have a
Is it advantage? So go ahead and roll again.
12. 12.
Not quite. DC 19. DC 9.
Okay.
Fortunately. So, you fall through the smoke. The sight of Gildy staring off with this black dragon that's about maybe 2-3 times its size, if not a little bit more, fades as the smoke as you pass through more of the smoke and your vision goes completely black. You wait for the impact of the burning ship below, but it does not. As you collide with water. And take 36 points of bludgeoning damage. Go ahead and make a concentration check. So, Constitution saving throw. So you are in the water. It's cold, dark, and you are wearing full-on heavy armor.
Yeah. Well, let's say it's
23? Okay. So you still have concentration on Aura of Vitality. Alright. That does lead us then to the Erlesians. I guess Elevorn, Netadion era. As the smoke begins to dissipate around the ships that have been attacked, you notice something. Or rather, you don't notice something. And what you don't notice are the ships that had been attacked. There are no signs of them whatsoever. The one remaining ship that had almost been destroyed by the Red Dragon, but Duran had gotten to just in time, you watch as that goes translucent and then fades almost out of existence.
come on.
Rip.
As it does,
Perfect. I was underwater. I saw nothing.
you saw nothing.
You guys can take it. I'll look at my.
Like I said, those first 3 ships that you had seen get attacked and go up in flames, you see no remnants of them whatsoever. Either they sunk
It
or
was
been
all
completely
a
disintegration. And as that final ship disappears, coming into view beyond the smoke around the point where you had last seen Duran and the Black Dragon doing battle, fading into view is the Falfnimloth. On the deck are the Phoenix Academy members of the Erlesian Navy, and behind the helm of the ship is the captain. From your point, Elevorn, you would be, you and Era actually would be the only ones to now see on the horizon the dozen or so more of the rest of the Erlesian fleet beginning to come into view. Netadion, it is your turn.
Yeah, cool. How far is the Black Dragon?
The Black Dragon from you now would be, well, you guys have moved aboard the ship with Svenkard, so for you it would be about 160 feet or so. So with movement and dash, you'd be able to get to within about 40 feet. You could double dash as a rogue, though, and get right up to it, but then be out of actions.
Tempting. Tempting still. Like, if I double dash, it's like I can get like on it or something.
Yep,
Just
you could get on it if you wanted to.
oh, fuck. Tempting. But no. It's just What was it? 140 feet?
It's
without-
about 160 feet away from you right now. So with one dash, you'd be able to get within 40 feet of it.
Yeah,
would
that's
take-
plenty enough. I'll get that close to it
Okay.
at this time. And I have an action left then.
Yes.
So I'll do Toll the Dead on it.
Okay. So that is a wisdom save on its part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it is most certainly damaged. So if this goes through, it will do. You'll be dealing in 12s rather than 8s. So you see, wisdom saving throw. All right, that's not the best for it. That's a 13.
Yeah, it just saves because it's
Ah,
13 with spell save DCs. That's why.
unfortunate. All right, so no damage from Toll the Dead, but fortunately, it does still appear to be. When you see it, it is looking around. It doesn't seem to see you. It appears to be either disoriented or blinded. You're not 100% sure. You can see the gash and the gouge from the wounds that had taken from Durand. You can see Gildy flying there, but Durand nowhere in sight.
Oh, that's still. I can't do anything else, so.
The Draconian's still coming full steam ahead behind you guys. Their ship has overtaken Svenkrid, and they are about 120 feet away from the dragon itself. All of the ballista on board pointed, aimed up at the black dragon, trained up, not quite within range, but almost. That leads us now to the black dragon. Well, before the Black Dragon's turn, it's going to use its final legendary action to make a tail attack against Gildy. Alright, is Gildy ready?
Wait, what?
Tail attack coming at Gildy. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, that is a unnatural 20 to hit. Okay, Gildy suffer. That is 19 points of bludgeoning damage. And now it is the Black Dragon's turn. As I see if it gets its breath attack back, and it does. However, instead, it is going to opt to use its multi-attack and attack 3 times, or at least attempt to attack a few times against the gold dragonelle in front of it, leading with a bite attack against Gildy. So, this is a 26 to hit. It does not appear as if it does seem blind. The eyes have definitely glazed over, but it does not seem as if it needs its sight to be able to discern Gildy's location at this range.
It has some magical senses.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gildy. Alright, so Gildy takes that 11 points of piercing plus 8 points of acid damage. So 19 total. Provided Gildy is still up, a claw is coming for him. And that is a 18 to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So, no. Oh. Gildy is felled. Which I assume means he just disappears? Alright. For intents and purposes, you all see the bite and then the claw swipes through Gildy. With a cry, he begins to fall through the smoke, plummeting dead weight as you don't see or hear a splash as Gildy's form disappears into the smoke. Now, what is this blind black dragon going to do? The dragon now begins to climb, flying upwards, directly upwards, ascending higher and higher with all of its movement now sitting maybe about 200 feet in the sky, little more than about 100 feet above any of you. And at the end of its turn, I'm guessing it can make a Constitution saving throw against the blind at the end of its turn, Duran.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of its turn, that is a 4 on the dice, so it is still blind. Elavorn, your turn.
Sorry, I was muted. So how far am I from the dragon and like Durand-ish? Because I know I wouldn't know exactly where
You
Durand
wouldn't know
is.
exactly where you would have seen maybe where he fell from. Where you are right now, you are perhaps, I'll say, about 100 feet away from the smoke that Durand had fallen into. And from the dragon, since it had continued to climb up, you are maybe about 150 feet away from it. So Durand is somewhere in the ocean. The dragon is in the air and climbing ever higher.
Okay, sorry. It's a little bit hard to figure out what exactly to do because there's merit to both things that I'd like to do. We're going after Durand. I mean, there could be a red dragon in the water. I don't know. We saw it go down. It could be like getting free, and he's just in the water. That's not where I want. That's bad. So going after Durand.
All right, so heading into the smoke and into the water.
Yeah.
All right. So heading into the smoke into the water, you can see the Balkanimloth on this side of the smoke too. As you head past it, you can see the members of the crew on board. You can see, you can hear the shouting, although you can't make out the words now, and you don't really even care to to stop and listen. You head into the smoke, and with your needing to use your action to dash to get this far, it's hard to tell. You can't obviously tell where he is. You have about 20 more feet of movement. I would like you to make a perception check with disadvantage at this point. A combination of the smoke,
Natural one.
dark water. What?
Ooh.
It's you're in the vicinity maybe, but at the moment that you get there after rushing here, you're not able to spot Durand or any sign of him. It's just you amidst the water and the smoke that, albeit, is still clearing, but slowly. Do you have anything else? Any bonus actions, Elevorn?
I was looking. Sorry. No, I don't think
Okay.
so. You can continue. Sorry.
Next step. Durand. You are sinking. Having just hit the water, having just impacted hard and taken that damage, being knocked off of Gildy and basically hitting what felt like solid ground before sinking fast into the water beneath the smoke. You see up the last vestiges of the light from the surface beginning to fade fast as you plummet more or less like a rock. Getting your bearings as best you can, you try to right yourself and push against the water dragging you down, the gravity as well as the weight of your armor that is lending you no aid in this situation. The water around you, cold, suddenly goes warm as bubbles begin to form and rise around you. An orange light begins to shine up from the water beneath you as a pair of eyes, a gaping maw, teeth, and you look down and you can see into the throat of a red dragon as the water around you starts to feel warm up, grow hotter and hotter, almost as if it's at the point of maybe beginning to boil. Elevorn, Durand, you both hear and can feel the percussive force of the dragon's roar as it reverberates through the water. You can physically feel the sound, the power of its roar. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Jeez.
There's no way we're getting through. Yeah, basically that, Sally. Yes, essentially.
I knew it from the start when you said that, you know, we don't know if it's.
It did take. Surprising that it took so long for it to get a 21. Honestly, it has like a +8 or something like that to its strength. So.
Wait, no.
What?
It can only try once, and then
What
it
do you mean it
automatically fails.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Hold on.
On the wing haver stopper.
Can
use
to make a save on the middle event. On success, it's destroyed. Oh, any further attempts automatically fail until 24. You're right. You're right. That does not happen, as a matter of fact. It's just Durand. Alright. Reverse time. Reverse time. Reverse time. I have to remake a dramatic finish to this episode. Okay. Minus all the dragon stuff. Let's see. New dramatic finish. All right. Durand. The same thing. You impact the water. You are sinking fast. You get your bearings as best as you can. You can still see the surface, but it is quickly going away out of your reach and out of your view. You do your best to try to slow your descent, but your heavy armor not doing you any favors, and you're continuing to plummet towards the bottom of the ocean. And as the surface grows ever further away, you look up and you can see, frantically searching around but not able to see you, a fairy drake, Elevorn, moving further away as you continue to descend into the depths. And that's where we'll pick up next time, as you join your red dragon at the bottom of the ocean. You could. However,
I mean, you're okay though. You can breathe.
you can breathe. Yeah, I'll just walk
He's
my
just
way
chilling.
back to shore.
If
Not
there's
nearly as
people
difficult.
left at the cave, they're just like looking at the
Yeah.
Dran just walking out.
Duran just walks out of the ocean.
You know, I may have.
What do you mean not moving once after? You wanted to move? It would get an opportunity. You were like, oh, you didn't want to take an opportunity attack. It has blind sight. Not all
Crazy.
dragons do. That one does. That's what I meant. Like it seemed like at that range, it did not require eyesight to be able to discern its location.
That's great.
Do you have the thorny one, the vines one?
Yeah.
Why
It's
not?
not-
It already worked so well, that concept on the red dragon. Which, by the way, I hope it was worth it for you. You're never getting that wing hammer stopper back.
You just gotta commission another one.
I'll go find it. Just go get the.
Maybe.
How hard is it to find something in the ocean? It's not that big of a place.
And not that dark or anything.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll just find the kraken. Yeah, go during the day, because the bottom of the ocean is just like some magical lit up place during the day.
True.
What does that mean?
Hello.
Hello.
I have a druid.
I have a druid that dispels the darkness.
I literally can bring sunlight with us in like 4 different spells, as well as the Solon Prism. So yeah, we're good.
Do you really want to do that though? Do you want to see all of the creepy things at the bottom of the ocean? Like you turn on the light and you're like, ah, no! Turn the lights back on.
It is very good.
I mean, if the thing is to fight dragons, then But at the same time, maybe.
True.
I think
Should
you
be
should
funny.
still commission another one of those.
That's
know?
it. We just get like 12 of them.
Just-
We just
I mean,
That's the point.
you want gold? Neri can get you gold.
yeah, just sell dragon bits from the ones that you restrict. Just sell the dragons. Just capture and sell dragons. Like. um,
Oh,
it's a little bit in a difficult spot.
but still, if you want gold, just tell Neri you need gold, and you'll get gold.
It's also was a good choice on your end, Durand.
What? Fighting?
No, the wing haver stopper
Oh yeah.
on the red dragon
Oh, the red. Wait, what?
Acid.
wouldn't have worked as well on the black one.
Oh. Remember with the fire, but not to ask.
Not for that reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got no.
You might.
It's the red dragon. Like if you were to scroll around, the black dragon would look.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just
Yeah.
also like
Which wasn't a ship at all, by the way.
yeah,
There were no ships. it was all Phoenix. You'll never know why you're gonna die. Is that what you're planning? Why? You would rather think that all of those people died?
No, I said
Yes.
You saved one ship out of 4,
yeah,
according to
that's
Duen.
fine. The
Oh,
other
that's fine.
Crazy.
Let me save someone.
fucking you know,
The red dragon soloed in one move is not a win enough for you, motherfucker. Okay. Oh
You
no!
can
I
get
have to use
out.
another spell slot.
it means more than me.
Alright, fine, I won't let you resummon him then.
No,
Yeah.
That's alright. Jeez, when I thought Duran couldn't get more broken, you're like, oh, by the way, every one of my stupid things that I use, Gildy also gets. By the way.
that's your writing.
Yeah. And obviously that does come with its own disadvantages. As we see.
Now I need to.
You just need to have like a harness. What you need to manufacture is a fucking seatbelt. That's what you need.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
What do you
Alright. Good night, guys.
Yeah, I need to go. So
See you guys.
goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Why is Sally so mad?